So you might be wondering, is there a trick to being financially happy? This can seem like an unanswerable question, and there doesn't seem to be anyone teaching basic finances like this. Well, I'm here to change that. You're watching Money 101 Animated. I'm Jeff Bullock. I'm a CPA and an MBA. I help people like you learn about finances so that you can make smarter financial decisions. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. All right, let's jump into this. I have 7 tips to help you have financial happiness, and here they are. Tip 1, have a budget. Tip 2, focus on getting out of debt. Tip 3, keep and grow a steady career. Tip 4, don't compare yourself to your neighbor. You don't know how much they make, you just know how much they spend. Tip 5, save like it's a game. And trust me, it can kind of feel like a game. Tip 6, find ways to give. Tip 7, be consistent and make goals. All right, these tips will help you have financial happiness. They might not help you become the wealthiest person out there, but does that really matter? Even the wealthiest person out there might not be financially free, and they might be wanting to be financially happy just like you. Also note that none of these tips is win the lottery. There's no true trick to it. You just need to be consistent in following these tips. All right, these tips might not necessarily seem intuitive, but they can help you have financial happiness in the good times and the hard times. So don't get carried away in spending all your money during the good times and lose it all during the hard times. Okay, let's do a deep dive into each of these. The first tip is to have a budget. Everyone needs a budget. I spoke about this in another video that I made. It doesn't matter how much money you have. There's always so many things that you want to buy. And it is easy to carry it away and have too much debt. Plus, everyone has that rich neighbor who looks like they're buying all the fancy things, and you want to be just like them. Well, here's a hint. You don't know how much debt they have. All right, but that's tip 4. There are always so many things that you would love to have, and a budget can help you safely have enough to be happy and stay financially free from overwhelming debt. For some people, having a budget might be a daunting task, but there are easy budgets out there. And honestly, the most important thing about a budget is that you know where your money is going and that you decide how much you're going to spend before you enter the store. Then stick to it. You need to have a budget or you will never have enough money no matter how much money you make. The second tip is to focus on getting out of debt. Okay, there are some things where debt is inevitable, like a house and maybe student loans. But you do not need to spend like there's a never-ending amount of money. Remember, the goal is to pay it off, so live frugally. Lenders are trying to make money also, so they're going to offer you as much debt as possible without making you go bankrupt. This means that they're going to offer you random increases to your credit in hopes that you spend more, or they're going to offer you a house for 3% down. Do not take it. Stick to these 5 steps when getting debt. Number 1, only get debt for student loans, a house, and possibly a car. Number 2, always pay at least 20% down, if not more. Number 3, make sure you have a plan to pay down your debt as fast as possible. Don't let that debt last its full term. Number 4, pay off your debt within 15 years. That means if you have to buy a smaller house or not go to that fancy school, do that. Number 5, your debt payments should not be more than 30% of your income. All right, so here are some rules that you should remember. Rent until you have enough money to pay down 20% for that house. Also, remember, there are hidden fees when buying a house, so make sure it's affordable. Number 2, when getting student loans, try to stick to less than the amount of your first year's starting salary. Think about if that school is worth it for you. If it's not, go to a different school. Also, for a car, try and have debt that doesn't last longer than 1 year. And you should not buy a new car. That's just silly. Remember, a car is just a thing to get you from point A to point B. It might be fun at first, but after some time, it can be a real burden on you. All right, so it's really important when trying to have financial happiness to pay down your debt as fast as possible. The third tip is to have, keep, and grow a steady career. There are 3 points to this. The first is, if you're trying to be a freelancer, do not jump in with both feet. Try and test it out. Keep your job as long as you possibly can until your freelancing gig can pay you consistently. Even then, see if you can keep both jobs as long as possible. The next point is that there are some jobs that are boring, stressful, or just do not work for you. I understand that, but hang in there. Push through the urge to leave. Remember the saying, do not run from something, run to something. If you do not like the job that you are doing, you can find a new, stable job, but stick to it until you have found that job. Remember, you might even need to move for new opportunities. The last point is to work on getting promoted. If there are skills that you are looking for that will increase your position, do that. If there is continued education that will put you in a better position to get promoted, do that. It might not be quick, but it will be worth it. And that is really what is going to be important for keeping that steady job. I want to point out that it really doesn't matter how much you make. You still can find joy with those that you surround yourself with. And you can also have financial freedom no matter how much you make. But the tip is to have that steady income. The fourth tip is to not compare yourself with your neighbor. You don't know how much they make, you just know how much they spend. We all have that person who has the fancy house and fancy clothes or whatever it is, and you want to be just like them. Don't be. You don't know what their financial situation is. And 90% of people struggle financially. So when you see someone who's buying that nice car or that nice toy, remember that they might be giving up some financial freedom for that toy. The truth is, there might be many reasons why people have the things that they have, and there are reasons why you have the things you have. Do not worry about it. Focus on your situation. And trust me, you do not have to have tons of stuff in order to have fun. You can have just as much fun by being creative and staying within your budget. Okay, so don't worry about what your neighbor's doing. Focus on you and your family, and you will have much more fun. The fifth tip is to save money like it's a game. All right, everyone knows that they need to save money, but that fancy new thing will come along and they will spend everything that they've saved. So here are 2 tricks to fix this. The first trick is to make it a game. Set goals and try and hit those goals. Let other people know that you've set these goals and that you're trying to hit them. Also, try and make it fun. See if you can save more than you anticipated. See if you can also have fun by not spending as much money. The second trick is to hide it away. Spending is tempting, and leaving that money in your normal bank where you have access to it can make it easy to spend. It's like putting candy on a counter. That candy will be eaten, so hide it away. Make it hard to get to it. Remember, you should quickly get $1,000 in savings, and then within 12 months, get 3 months of your normal expenses in savings. And in the next 12 months, have 6 months of normal expenses in savings. I also recommend saving for large annual expenses like holidays, birthdays, vacations, so you don't get overwhelmed in debt for those expenses. So make saving fun. Make it a game. The sixth tip is to find ways to give. All right, you might be thinking, how do I make money by giving it away? Well, there are a lot of reasons to this. First, I believe that there is a God who will bless you if you give. But you can also call it karma. If you give, the world will smile at you and you will receive more than you gave. It might not be financial, but why do you even have money if it's not to find joy? The second reason in giving is to help you think about others. If you only think about yourself, you're not going to get anywhere in life. The third reason is by giving, you're helping the economy, including yourself. Giving is great, so find ways to give. You will be amazed at the benefits. Okay, the last tip is to be consistent and set goals. You can have the best plans, but if you're not consistent in keeping them, they are nothing. At first, following these tips might be challenging, and they might take time, but they are very worth it. Set goals for each of these tips, and then set little steps to achieve those goals. I like setting daily goals to work on my larger goal. For example, setting the goal to check your bank account every morning to help you stay within your monthly budget goal. Eventually, you will get to the point where it is fun. You will enjoy having every aspect of a financially healthy life. There will be temptations that will come along, like a dream house or a store saying that this is the last item. You will feel pressured to buy. When you are feeling this way, it is for sure not the right time to buy. Walk away, and if you need to, run away. You can always come back and find a different thing later after you have saved and budgeted for it. So those are my 7 tips for financial happiness. Remember, financial happiness is achievable. It really can be out there, and it is worth it to do these tips, to take the steps, to set the goals, And to achieve this financial happiness,